Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be something different from me, and I can't exactly say that I take full credit for this video because I did see a video from Madison Miller, and she was the girl who gave me the idea for this video. And basically she went through Sephora's best-selling list, and she went through about 15 to 20 products from the Sephora app that were in the bestseller category, and she said if she agreed or disagreed. I just thought it was a really cool concept for a video, so I wanted to do my spin on it because I think we all have different tastes, and like what is trash to somebody could be treasure to someone else, which I really like that. So that's how we're all so different in the world and why there's so many makeup products. So I'm going to pick out a few of the makeup products from the bestsellers list, and I'm going to go through them myself and see whether I agree or disagree with them being on the bestsellers list and why. So if you guys are interested in seeing this video, then let's get started. So obviously the list on Sephora of the best-selling products is endless. There is so many products on it, so I'm obviously not going to talk about all of them, but I'm just going to go through them as I see fit. One of the first products that I want to talk about is actually the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. This is raved about. This has 4.5 stars out of 5 on the website, and I completely and utterly agree with this. One of my favorite contouring palettes, definitely one of the first kind of palettes that I ever got like this, you know, with the highlighting products in them as well as the contour shades. I adore this. I use it probably not as much as I used to use it. I used to go through a phase between this and the Ingloss sculpting products, but I think I feel lately I'm kind of dipping into different types of bronzers and stuff, and I don't use it as much, but it is one of the most creamiest blendable pigmented shades possible. They are incredible, but they're not overly pigmented where they're difficult to blend out. They're not choppy on the skin. They blend seamlessly. They're definitely one of the best formulated contour bronzing shades in my opinion, and definitely deserve to be on the bestseller list. I can understand why people buy this product because it is amazing. The next product that I saw was actually up near the top of the best-selling list, and I got 4 out of 5 stars, and it's the Fenty Beauty foundation. Now I think it does deserve a high rating when it comes to shade availability because this foundation beats them all. It has a shade for everyone, and Rihanna's constantly expanding this range, like the beauty products in this range, and I think she did an amazing job with the foundation shade selection. So I can't but commend her for that. However, this foundation was not good for my skin. I have oily skin, as you guys know. I just felt like it broke down on my skin. It separated. It just looked like a hot mess on my face. I was not at all into this foundation. I bought this product because not only it was Rihanna's makeup line, I love Rihanna, but because the shade selection was so vast, and also the rave reviews that I was getting, and I was just not digging it. I don't really think that this is a really good foundation for my skin type. I have so many foundations I reach for more regularly than this, and that look better on my skin, and they're much more affordable. Like this is $34 on the Sephora website, whereas the Wet n Wild I think is like $4 or $5, so it's much better for my skin type and I prefer it. Next up is no surprise because I think everybody and their mother has discussed this eyeshadow palette at one stage, and it's the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. My Modern Renaissance palette has been through the wars, and it gets much love. I have hit like pan on 4 of the shades. I adore it. I don't use it as much lately because I'm kind of dipping into different eyeshadows and, you know, experimenting. But I 100% agree with this being on the bestseller list. I think the formulation of this is amazing, incredible, so blendable, buttery, creamy shades that just look amazing. I've seen people with all different skin colors using this and enjoying it and creating looks with it. I feel like it's really versatile and definitely something I would highly recommend to most of you out there, and to add it to your collection if you are a makeup lover. You won't regret this. It is definitely up there for me. And this got almost 5 out of 5 stars, and I don't disagree with that. I think it is one of the best eyeshadow palettes around, and Anastasia did an amazing job formulating this. This next eyeshadow palette was actually a surprise for me that it was on the bestseller list. I feel like because everybody was talking about it, everybody ran out and bought it, and that's possibly why it's up there on the bestseller list. But this has 4 out of 5 stars, so obviously a lot of people agree with me that this is a great eyeshadow palette. I feel like I'm alone being the only person to actually enjoy the subculture. This is what it looks like on the the inside. I adore it. I use it quite regularly. I feel like the shades are extremely pigmented and need a tiny, tiny, tiny light hand with them. Try and not be so generous when you are applying eyeshadows using this palette. I feel like this was a surprise for me because so many people have slated it online, but obviously there are people out there who do find this amazing like I do. I love the shade range. I dip into this quite regularly. I've actually started to use this palette more than my Modern Renaissance because of the shade range. I love greens. I'm wearing green today. I do love green on my eyes. I feel like it really brings them out as well as purple, and I just feel like this palette is amazing and the eyeshadows are just super pigmented. Like I said, a delicate light hand with this is what's recommended, but I feel like you can make this eyeshadow palette work. So I know there was talk at the time of a few dud palettes going around regard to the subculture. I still don't know what the story is with that, but I really enjoy mine and use it quite regularly. So next up I want to talk about the Tarte Amazonian Clay, I was gonna say eyeshadows. No, these are blushes, and I recently picked up my first one and I have been using this to death. These have a 4.5 stars out of 5 on the website. I don't disagree with that. I feel like these are one of the most pigmented, easy to use blushes. They're just super on the skin. These blushes are incredibly pigmented, but they're not powdery and they don't give like loads of kick up, and they're also quite buildable on the skin, which is what I like about them. So even though this is quite an intense shade, this is called Captivating. This is a beautiful shade. It's the only shade I own, and I feel like I have used it every day other than today since I actually bought it. I feel like it's just gorgeous. Like it's like a really nice peachy shade that's quite wearable, and again you can totally build this up on the cheeks. So a light hand and you can get really a subtle touch of blush, or you can build it up to more intense blush if that's the look you're going for. But I highly recommend these and definitely think that they deserve to be on the best-selling list because they're amazing. Again, this product was no surprise to me to be seen on the best-selling list, and this is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I have gone through tons of these over the years. The only negative I have to say about this product is obviously the price. It is so expensive. On the Sephora website this is $30, and I think it's roughly around 28 to 30 euro here in Ireland, so it is super expensive. I usually buy my NARS on Feel Unique or Look Fantastic, one of those websites. I get the shade Custard in the Radiant Creamy Concealer, and sometimes you get discount codes on those websites, so that's really handy. I do love this concealer, I do, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like today I used the ColourPop concealer, which is like $5 or like €4 or something like that, and I tried out the concealer from Makeup Revolution and stuff like that, and they're super affordable and they do kind of the same thing that this does. So I do recommend this concealer. Hello? Oh my god, my mama just rang me with like the most exciting news ever. Wow, the universe was really working for me today. Anyway, I was talking about my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer and how amazing I do think that this concealer is, but just that there are more affordable options on the market. It does deserve the rating on the website, and I definitely think it is one of those concealers that everyone should try at least once. The next product is not actually currently in my possession because I threw it out, but I did want to talk about it because it's on Sephora's bestsellers list. It got a 4 out of 5 stars, and it is the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. Now I have a few things I want to say about it, and this is why I brought it up in this video, because I don't understand why this has 4 stars out of 5. For me, this mascara never worked, and I had 2 of them, so it's not like one of them was a dud because it happened to me twice. When I applied the mascara initially, it looked bomb. Like it made my lashes like big and full and voluminous and beautiful. But then after a few hours throughout the day, I found that I was getting like little black specks all over my face from where the mascara started to like break up or dry out and started to flake all over my face, and I looked like I had black freckles all over my under eye area and all over the top of my nose and all over this part of my face. It was just not cute, and it happened to me not once, like I said, but twice with 2 different Better Than Sex mascaras. So for me, it was a no bueno. I don't like that mascara, but I don't know why it never worked for me or why it flaked like that on me. And if anybody else has had an experience like that with the Better Than Sex, please let me know, because I feel so alone. Like everybody loves it, and even people buying from Sephora repurchase it all the time and give it such a high rating, so there's clearly something wrong with mine or why it wasn't working for me. Okay, this is a brand new product for me. I've actually only used it for the first time today, but I feel like I want to talk about this in this video, and they are the Stila Glitter and Glow eyeshadow. So I own a few of the Magnificent Metals, and these are glitter and glows as well, but they're Magnificent Metals, and then you've got the Glitter and Glow, which is more of a liquid eyeshadow. So these got 4 and a bit stars, so kind of like 4.5 stars out of 5. They're 2 different consistencies. The Magnificent Metal, the one with the gold lid, is more of a like glittery type of product, whereas the ones with the rose gold bronzy lids are more of a liquid eyeshadow, like I said. But both of these are definitely recommendations of mine. I've got Kitten Karma here, which is that shade there on the back of my hand, and I wear this one to death, and every time I wear it I get a compliment in it. The other one I have here is La Douche, and this is the Shimmer and Glow, so that one is right there, and it's also on my inner portion of my eye today, and that's why I didn't want to talk too much about it, but I feel like these are just so incredible. I love both formulas, and I just think that they are one of the best products that Stila has ever come out with, and I think there's so many brands like trying to imitate them, but these are still the OG and the best in my opinion. Okay, so next up we have the Huda Beauty. These are the liquid matte liquid lipsticks, and I am so obsessed with these. I actually can't stop raving about them. These got 4 out of 5 stars on the website. They are totally justified in that rating. This is like a deep mauve shade. It's absolutely beautiful. It's my favorite shade, and I wear it quite a lot. The Huda Beauty got me into liquid lipsticks. I feel like I'm wearing liquid lipsticks a lot more lately because of Huda Beauty. Bridge the gap between lipsticks and like something completely drying for me, because they're just so hydrating on the lips, if that makes any sense. Any liquid lipsticks I'd ever tried in the past were so drying and they just looked gross on my lips, whereas the formula of this is quite liquidy but dries to a matte finish, and they're not sticky or not overly dry where they emphasize your like cracks in your lips or anything like that. They are incredible, and if you are kind of a bit scared of liquid lipsticks like I was, then I would definitely recommend trying them out, because they might be just the key to unleashing your love for liquid lipsticks. Okay, next up I want to talk about a foundation. This is the Born This Way foundation from Too Faced, and this got 4 out of 5 stars on the Sephora website, so that's a pretty high rating in my opinion, obviously because it's the bestseller. This is an oil-free foundation, and it gives medium to full coverage. I agree with the medium part, maybe not full coverage. I've never really gotten full coverage from this. Guys, I've never really actually spoke about this foundation on my channel, but I really don't like it. I've tried it a number of times with different primers, different setting powders, different concealers, and this always goes blotchy on me and kind of breaks up around my nose area, chin, and in between my brows, just my oily areas. It just breaks up. The oil in my skin eats this foundation off my face, and I get absolutely no coverage from it within about 4 or 5 hours. Being honest, there's not that many foundations on the market that actually react the way that this does on my skin. I don't know, it's just really, really weird, and I've tried it so many times and tried to love it because I know an awful lot of people do love it, and clearly on Sephora's website it is a bestseller, but for me this was just not good. And like I said, I very rarely talk about this foundation. I don't even know if I've ever spoke about this foundation, and I've had it maybe 9 months, 10 months, so I've given it a good amount of time to work for my skin, and it just never does. I remember one day I was in Penny's and I was after putting this on that morning, and I looked in the mirror and I was like, oh my god, your skin looks dire, girl, what the hell is on it? And I was like, oh yeah, I wore the Too Faced foundation again. It just doesn't work for me. So this palette, this is the Sweet Peach palette from Too Faced, got 4 and a bit stars out of 5, and I totally agree with that. I absolutely adore this eyeshadow palette. I feel like it's one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes that I actually own. I get a ton of different looks from this. I get a lot of use from this. I bring this traveling with me. I dip into this on a regular basis, not as much on my channel anymore because I feel like there's other palettes coming out that you guys probably want to see, but I do wear this quite regularly. I love the matte shades in this particularly. I feel like they are so pigmented. They're really easy to blend and you really notice the difference. Even though I love Morphe, I really do, but when I go back to using this, and I use Morphe shadows quite a lot, but when I go back to using this Too Faced palette, I'm like, wow, this blends incredibly well. But I just feel like there's nothing like the blendability of Too Faced eyeshadows. You cannot beat them, and I just think the selection of shades in this appeals to me a lot more than the chocolate bar. That, and it smells like peaches, which is right up my alley. I love this palette, and again, this and the Modern Renaissance palette, I don't think you can go wrong with either one. This is, I love it So next I want to talk about Too Faced highlighters. Now they didn't get a high rating. They got 3.5 stars, but they're on the bestseller list. And this is what they look like. So I have the shade here, Blinded by the Light. I think I have all of them. I have Blinded by the Light, Ray of Light, and there is a gold one as well, which I don't know where it is right now. This is the one that I liked the most, Ray of Light, and this is what Blinded by the Light looks like. The gold one's quite nice too. So they are quite nice looking, and I was really excited when I got these. And thank you so much, Too Faced. You always spoil me, but I really was excited when I got these, but they just don't perform on my skin. I'm not sure why. They just don't look that great on me. They kind of come across a bit glittery and a little bit sheer on my skin. I just don't know why. They're just a tiny bit powdery for me as well. They don't like give me blinding highlight. Like my highlight's a bit subtle today, but they don't give me a blinding highlight. I just feel like there's better highlighters on the market for the price. These are $30. I think they're about €30 here in Ireland as well. Packaging is so adorable. They're so cute looking. And I love most of Too Faced products, but these are just not a winner for me. Now for a foundation that I do really like. This is the Estee Lauder Double Wear, and when I saw this on the website, I was like, of course that's there. It has 4.5 stars out of 5. It is one of the best foundations in my opinion. I raved about this in my most repurchased products video, and I said how many times I've repurchased this. I've been wearing this since I was about 18, 19. No, I was about 19. I still wear it to this day. I even wore it out at the weekend. I absolutely love it. I just feel like it gives me the most coverage ever. I did talk about in that video where it does give flashback because there is an SPF in it. If you're not going to be getting flash photography taken, then it's not a big deal. And then somebody else said to me in the comments that they've reformulated it and removed the SPF. I don't know if that's true. Please somebody inform me, because that would just be amazing, as long as they don't tamper with the formula too much, because this is bulletproof foundation. This goes nowhere. And like that, I wore it out on Saturday night when I went out with my sister, and I still had it on my face at like 4 in the morning. Yeah, 5 in the morning we got to bed, and it still was on my face looking flawless. And I probably had applied it maybe 8-9 hours previous, and it looked like it was just freshly applied. It's incredible. Love this foundation. I slept in this foundation one night when I was in college. You know, we have those nights where we're just like, I'm not bothered taking off my foundation. My foundation was still intact the next morning. But don't sleep in your foundation. This is not a good recommendation. Okay, so the next product on the list is They're Real from Benefit, and I've talked about this product to death probably at this stage. This is one of my all-time favorite mascaras. It got 4 stars out of 5, and I highly rate this. I feel like this is totally justified in being in the bestseller list. I can understand why. It is an incredible mascara. I know why so many people love it, because I love it too. I feel like this lengthens and volumizes my lashes like nothing else. I've yet to try the new Benefit Bad Gal Bang Lash Mascara. I've yet to try that mascara, but I don't think it's going to be a patch on They're Real, because I still love this to this day and will repurchase this until the day I die. And the final product I want to talk about today is another Benefit product, and this is the Precisely My Brow, and this got 4 out of 5 stars, and again, I highly rate this. I love all of the Benefit brow products. I think that there's nothing that compares to them, honestly, and if they didn't make them, I don't know what I would put through my brows. My brows are a hot mess the majority of the time, but if it wasn't for Benefit's products, I feel like they would just be worse than they actually already are. Benefit make the best brow products. I feel like the formula is amazing. My brows stay put. There's no bleeding, nothing like that. That sounds really gross. No bleeding from my eyebrows. But you know what I mean? Like, the product doesn't start like feathering out above the brow or anything like that. It stays put for the majority of the day. I just love these products. So the Precisely My Brow, highly rated. I highly recommend it, and I understand why it's on the bestsellers list, because it is one of my favorite brow products too. Okay guys, that completes this video. I hope it's not too long. I have a feeling that it is going to be really long, but I'm just in such good form today that I wanted to sit down and talk to you for a little bit of length. I know a lot of you are asking about an updated video on my health and my well-being and stuff like that, and I really appreciate that, guys. You're so cute. What is on my teeth? I know you guys are really looking forward to that video, and you're, you know, patiently waiting for it. I will make that video in the next coming weeks, but I just want to kind of give a little bit of a spoiler. I am actually doing unbelievably well. Just like a brief kind of thing just before I talk about that video, I have learned the key to life is to live in the moment. Let's just say that much. I'll elaborate a little bit on in my next video, but that's all I'm doing right now, is I'm just living in the moment, being present, and all the time thinking about what is around me and the love that surrounds me by my family and everything like that. And that's all I'm doing. I'm not thinking about the past or what's going to happen tomorrow. Obviously, when it comes to YouTube and planning stuff like that, I am thinking about it. But when it comes to life and things like that, I'm not planning too much in advance. All I'm doing is living presently. So guys, I am actually doing really, really well. I'm seeing my doctor regularly. I know a lot of you were concerned about my weight. You don't need to be. I'm eating much better now. I have been visiting my doctor, like I said, regularly, and she is delighted with my progress. I was there yesterday and she's very happy with me. I know that this is kind of like a bit of a rant at the end, but I just feel like a lot of you were asking and you guys are just so cute and I really appreciate it. But we will talk about that more in an upcoming updated video about my health and well-being and how I'm keeping. I'm doing really, really well. Better than I ever expected at this stage. So thank you so much guys for watching today's video. If you did enjoy it, give it a thumbs up and I will talk to all of you in my next one. I love you guys. Mwah. Bye!